Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Just sitting out here in the front yard on Christmas Eve in Lower Alabama. It's not very Christmassy here weather-wise. It's supposed to be in the mid-70s today, but it's nice outside, blue skies, and I'm just enjoying being outside. I didn't figure a whole lot of people will necessarily be watching videos with tomorrow Christmas Day, even though a lot of people don't celebrate. It's kind of a holiday time. It's kind of powered down time. So yeah, I thought I would do something a little different than food, kind of keep it short. Just, I've been telling you, I'm always kind of in a thoughtful mood, kind of thinking, reflecting, thinking ahead in the month of December. And the last couple of days I've been thinking about some projects I want to work on and some things I need to get done and how busy it's kind of going to be the first quarter of 2017. So I got to thinking about making things happen because I need to make some things happen. But then I was like, all right, making things happen sounds a little aggressive, like you're trying too hard, like you're pushing, and whatever. Then I was thinking letting things happen. I hear people talking about that all the time. And to me, sometimes that sounds a little passive, like you're just sitting around like waiting. Well, this is kind of my way of looking at it, and I thought I'd do a video on it and see if I could explain it to myself as I was explaining it. But I think there's kind of a balance, or kind of like between making it happen and letting it happen. I think the making it happen part is that we create an environment. We create the circumstances for things to happen, but then we just kind of let them happen. We don't want to push them, they can't be unnatural. They just need to kind of flow. So, like in life, everything's a balance. It goes, no matter what your philosophies, your beliefs, whatever, look to that yin yang, there's always opposites. There's always things that kind of balance each other out. And with pushing, there's pulling. And I kind of look at it like that with making things happen, letting things happen. There's a fine balance in there. When you talk about making things happen, it's all about the language you use. Like some people like to call it manifesting. I choose my language that I use around particular people. Like I read a good bit, so I have a pretty decent vocabulary, and I know how to adjust my language. I know when to use the words manifesting, because to a lot of people, manifesting is going to sound like some of that kind of hippie woo-woo stuff, and they're not going to resonate with that, and they're going to immediately turn off. So you'll use terms more like making things happen, because people can kind of relate to that. But as we've seen, and we've probably all experienced a number of times in our life, we can't actually make things happen. All we can do is like try to set up the circumstances and create the situations that will allow these things to happen, that will allow the things to come into our life that are meant to come into our life. And it's not really a whole lot of woo-woo to it. I think a lot of the stuff that we consider woo-woo is there's sort of science to it, there's sort of common sense to it. It just all depends about the language you're using. Kind of like the law of attraction, and people I've made this comment before, and people that are really into that book, really into that comment, get a little bit upset. But the law of attraction kind of bothers some people, and then some people are just very drawn to it because of the mystical way it's put. Law of attraction is basically common sense. Let me just go ahead and state that. The law of attraction is basically common sense. What you put out is what you get back. Mostly, not all the time. Sometimes you can put out love and kindness to people and you get nastiness in return, but most of the time you're getting what you're putting out, and it's not some sort of a magical vibe in the universe. It's just literally, the way things are. Now, from a personal standpoint, just speaking for myself, what I'm trying to do, like I say, is just, I'm getting my mindset for 2017 for when I get back to Costa Rica, so I can hit the ground running. As I've mentioned many times, and I'll elaborate a little bit, I have someone that's coming down to spend the winter. She eats like I do. She just completed yoga teacher certification. And then there's a number of areas in this health and wellness arena that we're both interested in. So I've got a lot of things that I need to get done in 2017. Working on the book. I've actually got another book title just ready to go as soon as I write this one. But I need a little bit of discipline. I need little bit of process there. You know, I've got several different projects. I've got things, I've got personal things, I've got work on myself. And sometimes when I'm sitting around thinking about it, and that kind of precipitated this video, made me want to do it, is that I can start thinking about things, and even myself, you know, even though I'm pretty laid back, pretty mellow about things, I can get a little bit overwhelmed. And that's when it's time just to step back a couple of steps, just breathe deeply, take a few deep breaths and say, look, that's not going to help anything. The pressure never helps anything. I mean, some people say that, and that is true. There are certain people in certain occupations and fields and whatever that do very well work very well under pressure. But the average person, when you put too much pressure on yourself, it's counterproductive. As it applies to me, I just want to kind of have my head ready, you know, kind of know what I need to do in 2017. I want to set myself a plan of like, okay, every day, you know, just get something done, get this done on this project, get this done on this project, and just basically move forward every day. Do the best I can, put in a full day. You know, not screw off too much like I did in 2016, but then again, screwing off is good for the head, or it's been very good for me. So I don't, you know, like I say, it's a balance. Everything in life is that balance. So to finish up, I'm going to make kind of a strange analogy here, but it makes sense. To me, this whole thing's going to be kind of like I talk about when I'm telling people about weight loss. I'm going to set kind of a loose plan for myself, and then I'm going to figure out my process. And then once I've figured out, like, okay, this is kind of how I'm going to progress, but with a little wiggle room in there to be able to, when things come up, you know, to adjust, I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to work the process every day. I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to free my mind of the results. I'm not going to think about the results very much once I get locked in and get into my work mentality, and into my self-work mentality. I'm just going to do the process day after day after day after day, relating to, like, if you were trying to get healthy and lose weight, you just start eating healthy, eating a plant-based diet, and not even getting on the scale, not even really paying attention to what your weight is doing, just trusting that process and knowing that if you work that process every day, your body's going to get to where it needs to be. And I know that with the things that I need to do, that if I just trust that process and do the best I can every day and not put too much pressure on myself, 2017 is going to be a good year. I am really looking forward to this next year. I love 2016. Hell, I love 2015. I love every year, you know, like I said in that other video. You know, each year I just go into the year expecting good things to happen, and I don't expect anything different in 2017. Does that mean good things are always going to happen? No, but 10% of life is what happens, and 90% of life is your perception. So that's going to end the crazy old man's Christmas Eve ramblings here. Hope y'all liked this video. If y'all like it, please give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll hit that subscribe button over there. It's hard to keep these subs these days. They're unsubbing people like crazy. If you celebrate Christmas, very Merry Christmas. Tonight, I think today's Hanukkah too, so happy Hanukkah. Just happy day, whatever you celebrate. Love you all. Peace.